Well, hello people of YouTube and internet, I'm GGP, back at another drawing project, and today we're gonna do a new challenge. Again, not like new challenge, it's still a monthly challenge, you know those challenge which is that every day of every month you have to make a drawing in the same theme. Although don't take it as a monthly challenge, just take it as a normal challenge of ideas what to draw. And I do it whenever I want to, and praising the project and continue this project after some time. So yeah, so I decided to take a part in very simple challenge, and again in my way I draw it, it was very simple. It's Swordtember from this guy. Oh man, I need to bring up the picture because I don't have a picture and I have no idea the name and that stuff. So yeah, it's Swordtember from Swordscomic, and again you can see the picture there, you can also take position in it and that stuff. So for now we're gonna do the 6 of the first one, and then continue it in the next time. So yeah, I mean I would say it's one of the simplest drawing I did. Like lots of blades was very simple and show me how sometimes unoriginal I can be and sometimes original. With some drawings I like it, some drawings are just okay-ish. Also half of them are simple-ish. So on this note, without long waiting, we're gonna... Okay, what we're gonna do? We're gonna start the drawing project right bloody now. So starting with Somnus Duster, aka the Sleep Sword. So for idea of this one there was a lot of original ideas, so that sounds stupid as hell. So yeah, the basic idea of this one will be a sword. Instead of the blade it will be dust, which is force you to fall asleep. Very simple, and again I would say it's one of my best swords because for original design it was amazing. But again, basically the base the sword, and also decided to do lots of those circles and cylinders. Almost just circles, I don't think those are cylinders. Yeah, just circles, what the hell saying cylinders. Trying to do the stars effect of the sky, and also for blades, again for the holder. Yeah, I think it's holder. And it's not a holder. Man, I just have a name which I've searched, but I don't bloody remember it. But I searched for the name, and I completely forget it. I just call it holder, you holding the sword in this place. For each of the sword I'm trying to give them original holder, which will be coupled of the eye, the arm. So that will be something covered in leather or cotton, all that stuff. If other stuff would be something other. Now for the blade, again decided the idea will be, since dreams and sleeping is not exactly a physical concept. I mean it's a thing we humans do, but I think it's not a physical thing. So I decided to do it in a mythical way. Not to man, I stopped turning it the sword into a wand. Okay, in reality it's like a dust speeder, but also trying to do something like wandish effect. And for that colors, again trying to be close to the sky with those pouches, color of the moon. Well, I mean, okay, usually I prefer doing the moon the color of the sponges, but on the one I decided to go with full yellow, because it's another way the moon is represented. I decided like to keep it in the pouches. Now for the facts, okay, I would say I didn't want to do lots of facts, so I decided to do one fact to explain the ability of the sword, and that's practically it. And for this sword I would say it's maybe commonly used, and again, as the name implied, it's freaking fall people asleep. The dust go into people's eyes, the heads, and they just fall asleep. And again, most are saying it's not much of the sword, it's again, and again, the feeling, the swordiness come from the part this is blade will be made of dust. And also again, that will be the only sword part of it. But in reality, it's like dispenser or something like this. Now for the character's head, I decided to draw the guy head as the character showing him being hit with the dust and then falling asleep. For the effects, man, I don't think it will be like mythical sword. I would say in my AU, I would say it's a sword which is being commonly used. It is like weapons of random people, like anyone can buy this sword and then just use it whenever they want to. And again, my other fact, man, it's like simple used. Okay, first of all, it does not produce the dust. You have to buy it separately and then fill the pouches with it. So it's like sword which have a limitation. And again, the dust maybe can be expensive, but the sword, yeah, I would say it's cheaper than the dust. Well, mostly because you want to sell the product and then sell the requirement for the product. It's like when people were selling these razors, well done, you know, shaving kits, and they have this the base and the razors, and you buy the base separately while you buy the razors differently. And I would say it's something similar to this one. Again, mostly, yeah, I think it's like very simple sword to use. I mean, yeah, I think you can even resist this dust powder. Okay, maybe if you're like not human or you don't require to sleep a lot. Or maybe just cover your face and it's all solved up together. Now for this design, I would say the sleep sword is the best one I did. And mostly again, yeah, it's the best one in design. I mean, mostly because I think it's have this mythical element to it, and I can like make some ideas. For other swords, is other materials the sword are made of, which is again, people made sword from different materials. Okay, I think that's a lie. I think people usually use something good or something which is common or something which is okay. Depends on what sword. Like I would say, some roads maybe have some sort of expensive but still strong metal. Other sport people can have a not so good metal. And for other stuff, this one have magical effect and it can actually add some more information about it. Like for example, what it does and how it does it. It does it thanks to the dust and it's make people fall asleep. And there's not much can say. For Beckham decided to go with similar color to the blade, but it's still different, so the blade didn't get mixed into this with little stars, and again gradient tool, which I use commonly for my Beckhams, which is again makes some more interesting details to the blade. Now again, the Somnus Duster is one of my favorite swords. For the name of the sword, it's come up from, I think I googled the name of the god of the dreams, and Somnus come up. Where I googled the word sleep or dust, no, the word sleep and dreams, maybe something like this. No, I think I googled the word god. And dust because it's spitting dust. Now for the dust effect, okay, maybe I want to do a little bit more stars inside of the dust, like it's more dustier. In my drawings it look more like a steam, but again, yeah, it looks like a more steam. But I want to do more magical effect. Again, well, maybe I should do the same thing I did for the trivia or the facts drawings. Well, again, for most of every drawings I didn't want to do much facts drawings, so I just like one fact with other stuff. Well, I don't think we'll create the Somnus Duster. I think just some random guy who no one even remember. I would say it's like not the brand new invention in my AU. If my AU, okay, first of all, whenever I make a drawing, I usually try to create something like an AU, my drawings, to have a history. But for other stuff, nothing much. Yeah, nothing much. Again, my favorite drawing and it's batch, and for next drawing, which is again very simplified, but I guess still not. Oh yeah, very simplified. I think for other drawings they're just simple blades. Which again, okay, maybe when it's just a simple blade, it's like losing all my interest to it. Like I want some interesting blade which just have not even a blade at this point. So let's go for the next one, shall we? We shall right bloody now. So the next blade is Morning Steel. Please don't confuse it with Morning Wood. Okay, this name is not very original. Okay, with names I'm trying to be creative. But again, sometimes creativity is none. So much for names I just come up with something seemingly. Okay, for this sword, it will not even be a sword. It will just be a large piece of metal which is used as a sword. If you notice this reference, you notice this reference. It's a song from Berserker. I'm not sure is it from Berserker because I never bloody watched Berserker. Like anime Berserker and manga Berserker. Never bloody know Berserker is. Maybe watched it later, but then I just know there's a song named Berserker and probably inspired by Berserker. Now for the breaker sword, idea would be it will be something like a grill, like from SpongeBob and that stuff. Which again, possibly I would say mostly just used as a breakfast, like for cooking breakfasts. But those can be used as a weapon because again, a very hot steel, which can bloody burn you like hell. Now for that design, I decided it will be first of all magical. It will have a magic crystal on the bottom, which you put in the bottom to power it. And on the behind of it, it will be this radiant, or how it's called. It will be this thing which generates heat. I think it's this spiral thing which is create a warm temperature. I think I just overwrite it, so that's totally the reason I know it. I think it's have the. Okay, for inspiration, I think I took first of all Mighty Magic Sword because I remember there was this sword, which again just generate heat. But mostly I decided to just get the inspiration come from this one. Again, there will be this part which is tubes, which generate heat and lots of heat, and the other side will be just flat, where you can try your breakfast. Also, I decided to put on the bottom part this forks and knife for eating and that stuff, and it also will be connected with the straps to be connected to the blade. And also the handle I decided to make it look like steak, also call it like a steak. And for handle again, most very simple. Again, let's say it's both magical / mechanical. Again, put the crystal on the bottom, it will generate an hour heat. You need to turn it up, you need to pull the crystal down. I think it was just created as the cooking tool. But then some genius decided to use it as a weapon, and then create a brand new trend of using it as a weapon. which I would say is bloody hard, since this thing is bloody heavy as hell. So if you can bloody use it as a weapon, you're like a very strong dude. And now just a bunch of people trying to bloody show off by grabbing the stuff and then throwing it at people. Or just fighting with people and burning, giving them bloody burns. Now he underrated the crystal and he tried to get the nice effect of the crystal. Although I think to make this nice effect, maybe I should remove the line inside of the crystal. Now he drawing the opposite side, which is again flattish, and it's having some bacon and eggs. Again, for other stuff, okay, maybe it was a bad idea to put forks and knife at the opposite side. Since again, I put it on the side of the hitting part, which again, I have no idea how you can use this sword. I mean, I can imagine you just take it, put it, and you just stand it there and hitting and eating your meal. Although bloody, okay, I have the genius idea what I should bloody done. I should bloody put these things, which is what we holders, like, you know, like table legs. Okay, like the part where the forks and the knife like it's the can because fighters stayed in place. But I should put it at the end of the sword. And like it will stand there and hitting part will be hitting. Like right now I see it like the way it will be not balanced standing. I think it will just fall a little bit. Because in fact this part has a support, while this part does not have support. I didn't think this earlier. Oh bloody hell, good nice idea. Also, you know, for other ideas I also have the idea of maybe adding a blade on the other side and you can like cut your enemies and then make a cooking them and while cutting them. But I also decided to go with the idea of like sword, which is not actually a sword, but some people decide to use that sword. Like, you know, yeah, bloody hard. Idea very much explanatory. Yeah, radiator. I think I'd call it right. And again, mostly, I think everyone else has said. I mean, I've said it's not a sword, it's like most a common object which is used for cooking meals. Bloody hell, I just returned to the same thought I was talking about. What the hell I returned to this thought? I think I already explained this thought. But for them I have no idea, so morning steel is for the breakfast because you eat breakfast in the morning, and steel because it's bloody made of steel. But also would say, okay, one of the swords which is very poorly designed, maybe. And now I have some more ideas of how to design it more nicely. Okay, maybe I should add this right now, considering the fact that I still... Oh, where's the radiant part will be? Although now I can just slice that a bit. Or maybe I should keep it this way. I mean, it's kind of already a finished drawing. Although people usually just take the drawings and do it, add more details to it. But yeah, I can already see that as finished product. So, adding more details to it. I don't know, it's a little bit one drawing of coloring. Okay, you will see. Maybe I added, maybe not. You will see. You will be one of the person I see. Even I don't know will I do this right now. Or maybe I did not do it. I don't know. Now, the next sword, let's go with the next sword, which will be Caffeine Rush. Again, very simple name. And again, because of a very simple topic. Although maybe I could do something interesting with this one. Okay, so Caffeine Rush is one of those drawings which I have amazing idea, but for design, okay, we'd say with designs, lots of swords are very simple. And also I have no idea how to make them distinguished, like it's just a freaking sword. Looking different, but still a bloody sword. And I'll say I like the Dream Sword more, or the Sleep Sword. Somnus Duster. Because again, it's not much of the sword, it's more of the wand, but it's kinda lookish like swordish. And have more mythical part to this one. And again, it's have more deeper idea. For the coffee sword, you said first of all, it'd be a sword which have a needle, which will inject you with caffeine and you will just get energized. Although I think injecting caffeine into your body via veins or into flesh, or into your flesh is not bloody good idea because it will be bloody not healthy and I think you can actually die from this one. So this sword takes some creative interpretation, or how TV troops call it, their creative abilities, artistic license, artistic license. For design, again, decided to do this needle, and for the other design, uniction, to make the sword a bit more unique-ish. First of all, I decided to draw the sword between the blade and handle like a coffee cup, and the coffee and the sword blade I decided to do a little bit going not straight, and also decided to do a bit of coloring on colors, like a little bit of the cup will go on the blade to create a holding effect. Also decided to do some coffee colors of coffee. And the tubes. Again, for the needle, it will be a tube which is going to your arms if you get it. And also will be connected to the handle. Like the handle would have this how I can say, the holders for the tubing. And when you're not using the sword, it can just go onto these holders. And by using the sword, you can remove it from there. Now also you have to feel it. Like it's not magic sword, we just generate coffee. Well, not coffee, caffeine, because I think coffee, injecting coffee into your veins is totally not a good idea. It's fatal. And caffeine, I don't know, it's still not good, but again, it's more logical since it's put inside coffee, making you more energized. And coffee is still not like a pure caffeine, it still have some other stuff like liquid or maybe caffeine also have liquid. Now let's decide to do this caffeine, like using caffeine as a word. But yeah, you still need to fill it with liquid. Again, it's not magic sword to generate liquid. It's a sword which will store the liquid, and you can use it whenever you want it. It's like energy boost. And again, mostly it will be kept inside and, you know, being refreshed and not rotten. And for other stuff, mostly decide to do, okay, for trivia images, I decided to draw my OCs. Once again, my positive self and negative self, like let's say my main and first OCs. Well, positive, well, negative me, bloody liking coffee and caffeine and like fully liking the infinite energy. He will bloody holding the sword and like using it. Also decided to just mirror the lines of the sword to not draw it from the scratch. But yeah, I would start doing it more often, but again, let's say maybe I should start drawing it from the beginning to have more better understanding of how to draw stuff from the beginning. Again, him rolling the sleeves and also decide not to color them. Like let's say with my reference drawing, I decide not to color them at all. Although the first one I decided to color, just this one I for some reason decided to completely not color because I am not like I am guessed this idea. Although if I would say with coloring, man, I sometimes color them, sometimes don't. Like let's say with Ben 10 characters I color them, or sometimes just keeping them. Now with Ben 10 characters, okay, sometimes I cannot color them, sometimes I fully coloring them, and sometimes I just coloring them a little bit. Like let's say from Ben 10 I just color one part, and keeping other parts translucent. Which again also not so bad. I mean it's mostly just my design. Okay, so talking about negative me, he bloody like it, while positive me, bloody... Are you serious, man? It's not bloody health for your body. I think you're gonna die after this. Well, like completely role reversal. But to be fair, it's different scenario. It's an area where negative me doing something stupid which is dangerous for his body, but again, it's caffeine and he bloody like caffeine. And positive me being worried about him, while most others stuff all the way around. Again, to be fair, man, I think positive and negative will switch places whenever it's come to coffee and stupid rejection of coffee. Positive self will be bloody pushing on negative me. While positive me being annoying and hyperactive, negative man will push. Negative me will bloody push him. And I just call him negative man. Okay, I can't have right to be mispronounced with my words. Okay, so right now I think I'm being mispronounced a lot. Okay, right now let's say my recording session is on a level. Okay, sometimes I like super enjoying and super cheery mood. Sometimes I just talking and just monotonously. Sometimes I'm talking and think I'm just sucking at this one. Okay, but sometimes I do play, or not play, sometimes I do talk, and after some period of time, I get more into the mood of conversation. But now, I would say I'm not in the mood of conversation, but I won't need to make this video. I must just try to find a random topic to bloody talk about. And starts missing my words, sometimes getting super confused, and that stuff. Now again, for that stuff, man, I think it's pretty obvious that it's my positive and negative self, but maybe without colors it's hard to tell. Although, man, they also wearing different clothes, so it's more easy to tell than that. And plus, again, I did the white N. He have to have a white N. Other characters cannot have the white N. Again, like for me, his age can be colored or not colored. For Moody, for Greedy me, I think it also cannot be colored. Again, trying to figure out how to make eyes which will look at the negative and like being shocked. Okay, let's say those lines behind the eyes are doing enough job of showing the shock effect. Although maybe the mouse is not doing a great job. Maybe I need to do a better mouse. But once I guess shock effect is accomplished. Although the wording is not accomplished. Like I would say it's not a face which would say these words. Words which I don't remember because I need to see what I said there. Because again, I made this drawing like a while ago. Like not super while ago, but while ago for me to not remember what the important part of it. Again, like I do remember the important part. I remember what I was talking, I remember unique details. And what I want to do and my thinking process. But for that stuff which is words, colors and that stuff, maybe I don't even remember them. So yeah, it's a coffee blade. Well, yeah, caffeine rush. Again, yeah, it doesn't look like, yeah, maybe I just said everything I want to say right now. Yeah, everything I want to say I said it. Oh yeah, well if you notice on the blade, on the coffee part, on the coffee cup, on the part which split the blade and the handle, there's little half circle. It's a place where you're supposed to pour caffeine into the sword. Like, the caffeine will be kept in the handle, while you need to pour it from the middle part. And then inject just doing it all job. Like once you apply it, it's already start pumping you up. And then stopping when it's identifying that you're already full. Like it's, I would say it's mechanical sort, but with simple mechanical. Like it's not like super workish or that stuff, but just simple machine. Like let's say it's one of the non-magical swords. Although let's say the breakup sword is half magical, and the dream sword or sleep sword is fully magical. Because again, let's say magic powder is magic powder. Or dust. Powder, basically the same thing. Okay, for the next sword, it will be the gold sword, which was really hard for me to do. For name it's Midas gift. Again, Midas is the guy who golden touch. A gift, well, I just thought it would sound cool. Okay, so the last three swords, again, they were really hard to design because most of the idea of the sword is sword made from materials. For golden sword, man, I guess I didn't have much ideas. I mean, gold is like royal material which is used for all this royal stuff. I was again deciding to just make a sword which will be first of all very fancy and rich looking, and which will be small because as I learned soon in my school, in the chemistry class, that gold is pretty actually heavy material. So I decided to make a small dagger, which first of all impossible to use because it's body heavy as hell and you like need to use your both arm to body lift it, and you like need to be really strong. It must be designed again wavy because I like daggers which is wavy, sharp between the blade and the handler, and bunch of rules on the side of the blade. Because again, it's not even usable blade, it's just a blade which is for decoration. It's like, look at this, it's golden dagger. I have a golden dagger. It's like a golden toilet or golden toilet paper. Or like I'm consuming gold, like I think gold in a big dosage is poisonous. And plus I think it's not like edible at all. Okay, it's edible, but no, they're totally mixing it with the food, so that's how it become edible. It's like, it's like eating leaves. Like you can eat leaves on your own, but when you move some stuff which you can actually taste or they taste not so bad, you can actually eat it not so badly. But this gold, I think it's like will be gold made for royalty and who just ordered to make this good dagger. And mostly I think it's the only one in existence and which is not even being used. I think you have to like be crazy strong to use it, because first of all daggers, and I see daggers supposed to be used in one-handed, like you just stab them and just run away. This dagger cannot do this. You bloody need to bloody hold it, or maybe like it will move you with it. And also again for this one, okay, for next resort I didn't have much ideas. I mean for golden dagger it was pretty simple because I have pretty decent ideas of what to do. For other swords I have no idea what I want to do with them, mostly because I would say I'm not very original guy. Like I would say my originality is not big. Like when I have ideas, I have small ideas, but I have no way to circle around them. Like I have idea of the sword which will pump caffeine into your body, but for other stuff I have nothing much want to say to this sword. This sword is like very simply designed. Even so I would say with other swords I'm trying to come up with an interesting gimmick for the sword, but once again I don't have this gimmick. Okay, maybe I could, yeah, I don't have much of an interesting gimmick for the sword. Mostly my originality is not that big. And also to be fair, the other swords they are pretty similar in effective. But for that stuff, no, I did kind of try to come up with something, but in design they are not so interesting. Like they are pretty boring-ish. Okay, not so well ideas. Man, this next sword is not so good in ideas. The other sword maybe better, but still ideas were not coming to my mind because again, as I said earlier, it's materials. What's so special about materials which will be in this sword? Which again, one of the things I was trying to do. First of all, I do challenges which I saw online. So whenever I do challenges, I like do a small hunt for those challenges. Like I Google, search them, Instagram, that stuff, search for challenges. And usually there's like a lot of challenges, but mostly they're pretty boring. Like they just made by art, made by technology. Like it's just simple word combination, which just does not give you much ideas. Although with mermaids, I think very original guy come up with a lot of ideas. I'm just not very original guy, mostly again, it's just a word. Which again, it's also a bunch of words, but it's like a sort of bunch of words. I don't know, fair, I don't know, it's also sometimes it's just flowers or beaches or that stuff. Most again, it's was really hard for me to come up and find the interesting challenge I would like. It's mostly, I guess, they're most of the same thing. And most I just find the one which is I just find personally cool. Most again, are all pretty much the same thing. It's just a word, but it's a word that will be connected to sword, or to the creature, or to the person, or to that stuff, or Sometimes it's just a word and you have to just come up with what you want to draw with this word. Like I would say that October is the same peak. Like there's a crystal and you have to draw crystal, you just have to be a drawing themed with crystals. Now I didn't want to do October because I want some more objective to the drawing. And this one, okay, let's say it's one of those I'm pretty okay with because I'm pretty curious about how to draw the swords and what my imagination can come up with. And maybe I should already just start drawing the next one without talking. Well, man, because again, mostly, and you cannot see that there's not much information with the golden sword. The only information about him that it's heavy. And again, mostly add what I add right now, but most I think it will be obvious that it's a royalty sword. But then maybe I should write it right there, that it's sword made for royalty. Next sword also made for royalty, it's Stříbrný Royal Blade. Stříbrný is translated as silver on cheeks. For name I want to really do something interesting and something using deeper meaning. Like, you know, deeper meaning, because I like naming stuff with deeper meaning. Okay, for silver sword my brain was completely empty, because first of all I have no idea interesting fact about silver on my own. So for the facts I have to go to the internet and find some interesting fact about the silver, but most I didn't find nothing special. Most I think the silver and gold are just what silver is just like as gold used for creating fancy tool, most of works and that stuff, and most of fancy tool for the rich. And for the stuff, it's the same electricity conduction as a gold. I think similar, but I also think with copper as well. Copper is more electric conductive, I mean bronze. Again, mostly it's like the free metal which is go after each other. And also again, they're mostly the same conductivity with some maybe differences. Another the fact that it was shiny. And that's why I decided to go with. It will be a blade designed first of all in very curvy way. It will be bloody long and will curve a little bit, like going a little bit back and like touching the ground. And I see you always use this blade and just you drag it on the ground and then just swing. Also the main function of this blade will be the fact it's shiny. It was designed in this unique way to reflect light into the enemy's eyes. That's like one interesting fact about this sword. Now for the handle I decided to do this very unique handle. Because I want handle to be interesting and unique-ish. I still have somewhat way I put you there. And that's all. That's all. Decided to do the eyes to show it's shining into your eyes. And that's all you know about this blade. Okay, would say this blade is much better than gold. Like would say this blade is more commonly used. Again by the rich people, but still more commonly used. For the name, I can Google silver on Czech language. And that's all. That's all facts I want to do. For background, man, okay, for background I want to do this lines of the sun. Because it's an eye and I didn't want to draw the sunlight, I decided to just draw the background yellowish. And I think it's really hard to tell that it's supposed to be a sunlight. Although it looks not so bad and plus it's more thing I never used before. Like, not person but like fully colored in background. Like straight up color. Well, the one is going on top of my typical what I was drawing on. Yeah, but not much can say. Again, mostly simple sword. It's a sword made of material. Like the only interesting fact about this material that it's shiny. Although there's lots of shiny metals. And maybe there will be other metals in this drawing batch I need to do. So I never look forward, I just look at what I need to do right now and just start drawing it. Like I know there's like a blood for vampire. Or maybe not vampire, just blood. But again, we'll look in the future. Now for the swords. It's the last sword for the day. And that's the last drawing of the day because I didn't do thumbnails. It's father gift. A bronze sword. Which is very sad father's gift. Although for the son it's not so bad. Because it's a sword. Okay, so for bronze sword, not many ideas. Again, for information facts I didn't find anything useful. As a result, I go with my personal knowledge of the bronze. Like for Olympics, the bronze medal are the third place. And in the fantasy, bronze coins are like the cheapest. So I decided to go with this very cheaply made sword. But again, it's a very special sword. Because this sword is a father's gift. It's again only one in existence. It's mostly custom made sword. Again, from the sword I would say, actually man, I think I decided with it in a way which is not a very custom made. Well, okay, first of all, the main part of the sword is the handle, like it will have the handle and it will screw on the blade. But the blade will be switched to a blade. So mostly again, because copper is like commonly used metal in the fantasy and that stuff, I decided to make a sword which will use copper blades and which will be switched. Like whenever they break, you just unscrew this bolt, remove the blade, and put a new one. So that will be gimmick of the sword, that it can switch its blade. Again, the handle part is not even made of copper, it's only the blade part made of copper. And again, decide to make those screws, which is again the blade will have a hole where you can screw it, and also again a very simple design to be fair. And also again, man, I think the way I designed the sword it means that it's mass produced, but I want to see it as something like a father's gift. I don't know if the switch's blade is easy to buy, or maybe it have to be custom made, I'm not sure, I just designed it in a very unique way. Also you can notice that it's a little bit broken in the main drawing, because once I want to do something similar to Adventure Time. And for other parts, yeah, not much can say. I mean, I don't think this blade will have any interesting stories. I mean, I don't think any blades are made today will be very much interesting. I would say they're all pretty simple. Like, they're all very simple. So yeah, not much can say. For this drawing session, again, I'd say that my most favorite drawing will be the sleeve sword. For other stuff, okay, maybe the bronze is not so bad. The silver, well, the gold, nah, actually, I would say the gold. If I have to put them on together, okay, let's not put them on together, it will get complicated. I would say just the sleeve sword is my favorite, while the breakfast is maybe not so favorite. And also again for the stuff, okay, this drawing was pretty fastish. And also again, the things I drew today was also very simple fight. Almost again, it was like very simple challenge I decided to do. And plus before the very serious project, which again was simple-ish made, but again more serious because there was like more characters to draw. And so, yeah, but again, nothing I can say. Again, mostly it was interesting to do, but again, let's say nothing much in my head. Like, my head is mostly empty right now. And when I was drawing, it was just idea and then following this idea. So I would say for, okay, maybe with, let's not get this one anyway. So it was GDP. I hope you like it. It will be weird, but I hope you like it. Although, it isn't that weird. Although, it was very simple, so although people sometimes like simple stuff. I just hope you like it and at least enjoy it and not hate it, or feel you're not into it. So yeah, it was GDP. Go to my social media, go to my other two channels, go to my other stuff, and go to my social media where I post this drawing. And if you want to make look them close, although without my face. And for other stuff, yeah, not much can say. I also have Patreon when to watch for stuff earlier. I'm not gonna know the names or tell what Patreon rank it is, because it's most for my other two channels I do that. And for this note, just have a nice day. Have a nice day. I'd say Dale. Okay, maybe because I'm very bad with my speech right now. For some reason I'm very bad with my speech right now. But you know, we'll figure out on the next video. And again, sometimes videos are just different quality between them. Just have a nice day, Adele, and have a good time. Rodensky.